All right, what's up? The two missing links from yesterday's show.
Oh man, we did not come through yesterday. I'm sorry to everybody who watched, but Roland and Justin held it down. Me and Ben got a little crazy here on Saturday. You know, for the playoffs, had a little barbecue, threw it down. Got a little too lit, so we didn't make the Sunday show. So first of all, thank you to Justin, thank you to Roland for doing the show on Sunday, and thank you for everybody who commented with them and woke up early with them.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yesterday was a travel day for me. I was trying to get over here before noon so I can catch that Cowboys game and Niners game over here with Rick back in New Braunfels because I was in the Valley.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, shit, crazy weekend of super wild card. We got one more game left, the final one to see who's going to be playing the Buccaneers in the second round. We got the Rams and the Cards. We'll be getting into a little bit. Get y'all some plays for that game. And then me and Ron will recap a little bit of the weekend since y'all were able to hear Roland and Justin's thoughts on the games that did take place, Saturday. And, well, for yesterday, we'll talk some about the Cowboys games. So, yeah, happy to be here. Big game tonight, Ron. Rams versus Cards, division matchup. Third time they play each other.
Yes, sir.
We know Marky's got a lot riding on this game, both as a fan and just with the shit talking that would come with him losing. So, yeah, man, we got Josh in here in the chat. We got Rick in the chat as well.
The champ. Hey, we got to put some respect on his name, bro. The fantasy football champ.
Rick. Yeah, Rick the champ. And shit, the 49ers fan.
Man.
Of the podcast group, him and Joseph. I know Joseph is also a 49ers fan. Maybe he'll jump in here a little bit later. But yeah, man, we'll get to that 49ers game in a bit, but we got what we're going to talk about pretty much here for y'all today. Like we said, the Rams and the Cards. We'll get into some stats and info for the game, the way we see it going. Then we'll get y'all some bets. We'll recap the playoffs, and then we'll get a little Super Bowl prediction, Super Bowl winner. A little too early, but we'll give y'all what we got. But yeah, without further ado, Ron, let's get into this, bro.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. As you can see, the game plan is already up there. Ben just ran it down for you, our first quarter to the fourth quarter, and overtime we'll get into the Super Bowl winner. But that intro was nice, and let's just get into it, man. All right, so everybody knows tonight is the last game of the playoffs of the wild card for this season. We have Kyler Murray, K1, killer K1. For the Cardinals going into that brand new $1 billion stadium in LA, going against Matt Stafford and the Rams. What do you think? What's just overall, when you first saw this game pop up, what was your overall reaction to it, Ben?
But before I tell you, I'm just going to give the line for this because we are going to be talking a little bit of bets. So the game, it is the Rams, it is the Cardinals going into SoFi to play the Rams. Like Ron said, the Rams are -3.5. That comeback on that is even. And the +3.5 on the Cards is -120. The money line, Rams -175. The comeback +150 on the Cards. And then one of the higher totals of the weekend, 48.5. 48.5 is the over-under. Okay. So that's what we're working with. I mean, my first reaction when I thought about this game is these are two teams that have been slumping pretty bad. I mean, two teams that started great, but, the Cardinals in their last 10 games are 4-6. They have, since losing Hopkins and J.J. Watt, they haven't looked that good. And Matthew Stafford has 11 interceptions since week 9 of the season. He's been somebody that, we've been talking about it in the chat. I think that the Rams are front runners. I think that they should be favored at home just based off of, what McVay has done to Kingsbury. He pretty much owns them for the most part. And they are division winners. They got home field. So 3.5. I think it is what it is. I do think that it's a toss-up game, though. We'll get into that, a little bit more. But what your initial thoughts? What were they?
Is that it's going to be this is that game for Kyler Murray that's either going to put him on the map or he's just going to be another run-of-the-mill number one pick quarterbacks who gets there. I mean, I know he's young. I know he's extremely young. But if he can put on a performance, this is where you get talked about and say, hey, you went on the road in the playoffs and you balled out. You put the team on your back. Because if you think about it, with the injuries that this team has, all the players that they've lost, it's all going to come down on him. Everybody knows that it's him. All right, James Conner is there. He can kind of help him out, but he doesn't have any big wide receivers anymore. AJ Green, who burned Diggs last week or a couple weeks ago, is still there. But I mean, he's already in the latter parts of his career. Christian Kirk is another option. They got Ertz from the Eagles, so he has a solid squad. But at the end of the day, when I first saw this, I said, Kyler Murray, this is your chance, young man. This is your chance to come out. You kicked my Cowboys ass 2 weeks ago in Dallas. However, that loss in Seattle kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. I thought they were going to carry momentum from that Dallas win into Seattle, but they ended up losing to a quarterback that's in comparison, that people compare to him a lot in Russell Wilson. So I thought they were going to ride a lot of that momentum into this Rams game. So that's the only thing that I'm worried about is that they are coming off a loss. But then again, so are the Rams. They lost in overtime, 27-24. Last week they let the Niners, come back on them. So
yeah.
First initial reaction is that it's going to be a big game for Kyler Murray, and it's just it's going to get crazy, man. I think the game's going to be crazy. We have seen a lot of chalk. Everybody that's won is supposed to win, even though the Cowboys were favorites. Everybody kind of knew San Francisco had a good chance of going into Dallas and winning, which they did. So yeah, man, I think Kyler Murray put the team on your back. I'll get into my pick later, but I am becoming a Kyler Murray fan.
Yeah, and Ron, this is a situation in which we got a quarterback, a veteran who's never won a playoff game, playing against another quarterback, making his first career playoff start. So over the weekend, the way that went, Mac Jones was making his first playoff start, took an L to Josh Allen, and there was one more. They've gone 0 for 2, and this is going to be the third one. I believe it was Carr. Carr had never started a playoff game, and he ended up losing. So I think Joe Burrow fits into that, but he was a rookie. So, yeah, we got Stafford, who's never won a playoff game. 3 appearances there with the Lions, no wins. Kyler Murray, first playoff game. We know that the hype has been there, the expectations for them to get to the playoffs. And like you have on the screen, Hollywood, let's go to the Rams. I mean, they're the team. They're the team bringing most of the star power into this matchup. Like we mentioned, DeAndre Hopkins is out. J.J. Watt was activated today from the IR. He will be playing. I don't know how effective you expect him to be, but you got Donald, you got Ramsey, you got Stafford, you got Kupp, you got OBJ.
Kupp the God.
This is a team that had very high expectations at the beginning of the season because of the addition of Matthew Stafford. They found themselves winning the division again. Here they are hosting a home playoff game. It's just, do you believe in Matthew Stafford or not? For me, I haven't liked what I've seen from the Rams, man. I think that that game last week, I mean, you're up 17-0 against a Jimmy Garoppolo-led team. and to blow that lead it's stunning, and it's pretty embarrassing, to be honest. That left a bad taste in my mouth, playing for the division, like you mentioned with the Cardinals as well. If they would have won, they would have won the division, and they would have been hosting this game. So both teams shit the bed at the end of the season. It's a coin flip game, man.
It literally is, man. It literally is. I mean, you have the Rams coming in, winning 4 out of their last 5. I mean, starting with Arizona when they beat them 30-23. Then they go into Seattle, they win 20-10. They go to Minnesota, win 30-23. They go into Baltimore, win 20-19, and then they lose in overtime. So all that momentum was lost. I don't trust Stafford because of he has that gunslinger mentality, and he can win you games. But man, as Marky Garza says in the chat, man, I mean, this guy sometimes just throws up the prayer. Like, who is he throwing it to?
Hey, OBJ's down there. Fuck it, right?
Yeah. OBJ's gonna be somewhere out there. It's like the Sandlot when he's like, just stand there and stick a glove out in the air. I'll take care of it. That's
miraculously the ball falls in there.
But yeah, man, I mean, I'm not gonna go too much more into the LA here, except that they got to put up or shut up. Just like you said in the beginning, they got all these players, they got all this money. Everybody wants to be Hollywood and go to LA. So let's see if they can, drop their little what and defend their home field, because the Niners just took it to them last week.
Yeah, man. And then on the other side, for the Arizona Cardinals, I think a big thing for them is going to be Zach Ertz. Obviously, Kyler Murray, he's going to have to be sliding, gliding out there, running and passing. Like you ran down their targets. I think that the main one, it comes down to Zach Ertz. He is a Super Bowl champion with the Philadelphia Eagles. He is, a playoff ready player. if you want to count on guys like AJ Green, he has had 2 really good games against the Cardinals. Yeah. Really good games. 76 yards and a touchdown, and then he had like 108 yards and no touchdowns. So he has had good games because the Rams do tend to play a lot of zone, and AJ Green is a zone beating receiver. But Kyler Murray, man, Kyler Murray, will it be too much pressure for the young kid? That the Cardinals on the road this year, 6-0 ATS on the road, so they were covering machines on the road. A lot of people like them in this spot because they are on the road. We're gonna find out a lot about
it's bro.
It's just I think the quarterback who loses his game is gonna get shitted on a lot, bro. I think they're gonna get shitted on a lot, especially if it's Matthew Stafford. I think that if Matthew Stafford loses, you're gonna hear about, you see, we told you so. It wasn't just the Detroit Lions holding him back. Mm-hmm. This guy's just not a big game quarterback. He's not a playoff quarterback. I think that it's a real good opportunity for Kyler Murray, man. You have a really good chance to go in there, take advantage, steal the spotlight, and, move on to a matchup against Tom Brady where the clout would even get bigger. You know what I mean?
And this is something that he can do. He's been a winner, just like everybody, heard that story that came out when he played Dallas. He never lost in high school. He never lost in college. He's undefeated at Jerry's World. This is a guy that I think, and I have this Bruce Lee up here because I saw this article today on ESPN, and he says that he's into Bruce Lee and he likes all that stuff. And smaller guy, but somebody who can handle the pressure, in my opinion. It's like that Bruce Lee say, be water, my friend, because I think that he can adapt and adjust to anything that the Rams are going to throw at him. The Rams already have that suspect defense. They let, just like you said, they let San Francisco come all the way back into the game. And I think that he has that X factor to where, yes, the defensive ends for the Rams are strong, but if they put too much pressure on him, this guy can scramble with the best of them, bro. And the thing about his scrambling ability is that he scrambles, I think, to look to pass, which is why, yes, exactly. Which is why I think that he may not have those strong receivers, that those breakout big name receivers like a Kupp, like a OBJ, but his scrambling ability to keep his eyes down the field can create plays. Some other receivers can get behind the secondary. He can scramble, maybe hit Zach Ertz coming off of a block. So I look for Kyler Murray to have a big game. He has to have a big game. And I think he has the capability to go into this as his first playoff appearance and win the game, but most importantly, cover. And we'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah, and Kyler Murray has also been a guy who has thrown up some duds this season. I know Camarada Alex, we were talking about the game earlier, and he's like, I just can't trust Kyler Murray. He's let me down one too many times. I think he was on them last week, and they really shit themselves last week.
Against Seattle?
But last time out against the Cardinals, and now this was against the Rams. This was a home game for the Cardinals. Kyler Murray, 32 of 49, 383 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he got sacked 4 times. So and that was in a loss. Yeah, like I said, they play better on the road, but the Ram. It's because like right now we're gonna get to our plays on this, and strictly like this, I'm just taking based on the number. Because like I told you, I think whoever was the underdog, that's the side I would have taken. We're pretty much there already. But getting into our next segment, the plus 3.5, bro. I mean,
we can't talk about players and quarterbacks though without talking about the real star this season. And we have the hashtag up there because we used the God as a lot of. I think it started off with Luka when Luka was going off, Luka the God, and then whatever player is going out, we always add the God. But is Cooper Kupp not having a Cooper the God season?
Yeah, MVP candidate for the most part this year. We know that he's
crazy.
Matthew Stafford's favorite weapon. He was Jared Goff's favorite weapon. Whoever would be quarterbacking there, that's going to be their favorite weapon. He's gotten it done. Like we have broke all kinds of records this season. I mean, obviously, yes, you did have the one extra game, but he was by far the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football. Touchdown machine this season as well. A little preview, but we are going to have some plays on him today.
Yep.
In our betting segment. But yeah, we do have to put the spotlight on Cooper the God, Cooper Kupp.
Yes, sir.
What do you expect from him tonight? Big game?
Huge game.
Huge game.
A huge game. Just like how we said that, Kyler Murray has to be the guy for the Cardinals. Cooper Kupp has to be the guy for LA. Because if anybody's going to bail out a shitty performance from Stafford, it's going to be this guy. It's not going to be OBJ. It's not going to be the 2 or 3 running backs that they have in the back. The defense is good, but they're not strong enough to score touchdowns and maybe control that Cardinals offense. So if you need somebody to say, hey, let's put this guy in the game, it's like, in baseball, when you have that starting pitcher, if that starting pitcher doesn't do well, the team's not going to win. And if Cooper Kupp doesn't get at least 10 targets today, the Rams are not going to win this game. So I just think it's a crazy story, man. I mean, as we see up here, he was drafted in the 3rd round, with a 69th overall pick. He's a smaller guy, 69. He's a 6'2" guy, 208 pounds, that typical slot, receiver, but he can just do so much more, man. And his yak is absolutely stupid. He's hard to tackle. I mean, this guy is crazy. I don't know how his contract is. This is something maybe for Roland would probably know. But is he one of those receivers who is gonna set the market for what wide receivers, will be getting paid in the future? We haven't had a lot of talk of that. It's been more about the quarterbacks, the Mahomes deal, the Dak deal. Running backs we talked about last week, kind of getting, underpaid or not as much as they would before. So is he that first receiver who's going to start seeing those big contracts, do you think, for NFL wideouts? Is he going to set the bar? Is he going to set the standard?
I'm gonna look up his contract here real quick just to get exactly how many more years he has left or when he signed his contract. But you got to think, obviously, this is a guy who would, set the standard, reset the bar for how much wide receivers are getting paid. He's just that type of game-changing player, and what he means to the Rams. I mean, the Rams ain't gonna let him go anywhere, bro. You know what I mean? He made Jared Goff, as serviceable as he was. We see what the hell's going on with him over there. But his contract, 3 years, $47 million. So he'll be a free agent in 2024. So we still got a couple of seasons. I would say for the amount of money that he's getting paid, $15 million a year average, rowdy underpaid. That's got to be. I mean, we're talking about Amari Cooper making more money than Cooper Kupp. Because that's just a receiver who's recently signed that I know has like a $19 million a year number next to his name. So they got the deal done when they needed to, and it looks like they locked. I mean, until 2024. They locked him up for a good minute.
I think Devontae Adams is going to go into free agency after this year, and I think we'll kind of see where the bar will be set for Cooper, because as long as he stays healthy next year and he has the same kind of production, and the Rams get deep into the playoffs where he can show that he will be that playmaker, that he can change the game, he's just going to be like, man, pay me this money. I'm Devontae Adams money, which I think that he is. Devontae Adams, different kind of receiver. Obviously bigger guy.
But he's the exact same thing that Kupp is for Stafford. I mean, Adams is that for Rodgers. You know what I mean? Like he is. They're game-changing receivers. They're the guys you count on. You said he better get 10 targets today. Shit, he better get 10 receptions today if they want to win, bro. He's gonna need to see the work, and obviously he makes it easier for Van Jefferson, OJB, Higbee, all of those guys. So, but yeah, let's get into the game now.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes, baby.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's get into these plays. Prop it like it's hot. Got some spreads in here as well, but for the most part, got a lot of player props on there. I'm gonna get through mine. We just finished talking about Cooper Kupp, so I got Cooper Kupp anytime touchdown scorer. We saw that he led all the receivers in the NFL with touchdowns this year, so I got him to score a touchdown at any time in the game. Minus 125. And then I'm going to pick a side for this one, and I'm going to go with the Cardinals plus 3.5. Like I said, I'm getting the hook. I think that it's a toss-up game, meaning it's going to be a field goal game either way. In my opinion, that's the way I have it going. I do like the Cardinals at 3.5. I think that they can win outright. So the 3.5 is just a little cherry on top. So yeah, those are the two things that I'm on tonight.
I like it. I'll go over Justin's, really quick because Justin couldn't be here tonight. Like I said, he did held it down for us yesterday. He didn't give us any props, but I know my boy is a Cowboy fan till he dies. And this Cowboy Super Bowl 2023 is going to be his bet. We'll get into that a little bit later. But let's just go ahead and cover mine real quick. Cooper Kupp, we had just came off the segment about him. Over 7.5 catches. The juice is at 140, but what do you think, Ben? What do we always say? Sometimes the juice
it's worth the squeeze.
It's worth the squeeze, man. We just hyped them up. So Cooper Kupp over 7.5 catches at minus 140. It kind of coincides with your play, Cooper Kupp anytime TD. If he doesn't score a TD, it's.
I mean, they can win. Yeah, they can win without him scoring a TD. But I mean, he's a guy that just gets in the end zone every time for them.
With the amount of looks that he gets, that should be it right there.
Yeah, and I like that number 7.5. Like we said, we expect at least 10 targets. So
right, correct.
I like that number.
I'm also gonna go with first half tie, either team to win. This is something that I mentioned. I mentioned it for the Steelers game.
Steelers and Ravens, week 17.
There it was,
and
man.
It was tie.
And it was tie. They had to go into overtime. No, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was tied at half, tied into overtime. So I mean, those odds must have been crazy.
It is, and there it is right there. So what you do with this bet is you take the tie at halftime and then whatever team to win. So if it's tied at half and the Cardinals win, that's a plus 1,800 hit right there. If it's tied at half and the Rams win, that's a plus $1,200 hit. You don't have to break the bank on a play like this. Drop a little unit, maybe 2 units on it, get your big cash of the day, and then walk away. I'm also adding.
Usually you find that one under double result.
Double result
under props. It's under double result for the game, and it gives you all the options.
Yes, yeah, it does. I'm also gonna go with, it's not up here, but I'm also going with AJ Green over 44.5 receiving yards. I'll go ahead and put that in the comment box so you guys can see it. AJ Green over 44.5 receiving yards is something else that I am adding. Do you want to cover Rollins or do you want to?
Yeah, I like that as well. The AJ Green one, like we talked, he's been killing them. 44.5 yards. You gotta think that he gets to 50, especially because unless they're just killing it running the ball. But you gotta think AJ Green will be, the number 2 option behind Ertz today. So I like that one a lot. 44.5 yards. And yeah, let's get Roland. Roland had a good day with the props yesterday on the morning show. I know that
I listen on the morning show. Yeah. We're already breaking out, bro. We got the morning show. We got the Monday night segment.
It's because tonight's on the night. Yesterday was in the morning, so I'm saying yesterday's morning show. But he went 2-0. But for today, he's like we mentioned earlier. Connor's back for the Cardinals. He's got Connor anytime TD. It's at plus 100, so even money. And then is that Raheem Moore? No, that's or is that the defensive coordinator that Marky's been bitching about for the last 2 weeks? Rondale Moore, wide receiver for the Cardinals. Rondale Moore over 16.5 receiving yards at minus 120 for Roland. 16.5, that's something that you can get in one catch.
Yeah.
So
and I think that play with Moore and the AJ Green play kind of coincide with what I said earlier about Murray's scrambling ability. He's gonna scramble, and he creates plays that he can scramble and throw like a 30-yard pass because it's like a backyard play where, everything's broke down, the coverage is gone, and then it's just a scramble drill. Right. I think just like you said, 1 catch to Moore can get you that. Maybe 3 catches or 4 catches to Green can get you that. So I like these plays, man. I think that they go along with how the game flow should be. The Rams are at home. The Rams are favorited. So you think that they would have the lead. And like I always say, garbage points, teams coming from behind are usually going to want to pass the ball more. So receiving props are something good to look at here, especially with the game, like you mentioned in the very beginning of the show, that has a 48.5 over under. So we believe that points are going to be scored. So why not take props that kind of coincide with that?
Yeah, they're expecting touchdowns, and we've got touchdown scorers out here. If you're playing DraftKings or any type of fantasy, put some of these guys in your lineups. If we expect them to get in the end zone, hopefully they do, and it's not for sure, but you can play it that way as well in DraftKings. We got Diego in the comments saying Chase Edmonds first TD plus 1,200. My only worry with that is that Connor is their clear goal line back.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Edmonds might have to get in, from a little
like
distance.
20, 25.
Or from outside the 10. I think all inside the 10-yard line is just going to be nothing but James Conner. I mean, Diego knows as a Steelers fan, Conner was a pretty decent goal line back for the Steelers that one year that pretty much put him on the map after Le'Veon Bell. So Chase Edmonds, I mean, good numbers, but I have my hesitancy because Conner is their goal line back.
Yeah, shout out to Diego, man. He's definitely a top fan of the show. Shout out to Diego. Shout out to Bet King. Hats off to you, sir, and Big Ben on your season. Nobody thought that you were going to make the playoffs. As the podcast, we took Steelers under wins. I don't know if it got there or not, but
no, we didn't. That wasn't a play for us.
Okay.
We kept saying we should take it, and then they end up winning the last game of the season and it went over. So good thing we didn't take it.
All right. Well, Diego, you fought to the end. Big Ben went out with a bang. He made the wild card playoffs, and hey, he went just as far as the Cowboys, so it's all good.
I pulled up to Diego's crib yesterday to grab my speaker because I had left it at his house. We were watching some soccer on Friday, and I had left my speaker at his house. So I pulled up to go get it before I drove back, and he comes out in his Big Ben jersey. He went back. Loyal fan. Big Ben's last game yesterday. Get into the pretty much playoff breakdown here in a little bit, but anything else as far as for plays today, Ron? AJ Green, you said wasn't it's not here on the slide, but we do have it in the comments section.
Yes, yeah, we don't. Anything that you guys like, comment too. These are our plays, but maybe somebody in the chat likes something else, and then somebody else in the chat can see it and go ahead and take that bet. But I mean, this is pretty much it. I do have a dumb parlay that I made for like $20, and I took
donkey parlay,
and it's gonna be crazy because the Cowboys are my team. But I took San Francisco money line and I took Cardinals money line for $20 to win me a bill. So you never know, you never know. That's the only money I had on the Cowboys game because I knew they were gonna break my heart, bro. And we're gonna get into that. We're gonna run a little small segment on that a little later, but I do want to shout out Roland, man. He made a teaser video and it hit. The bet hit. Roland killed it.
Of course, Roland and teasers. Always.
I don't know why I had technical difficulties. My tablet was messing up and I couldn't get the video up. But the video is up today. He gives you a perfect rundown of the games. Both bets hit, and shout out to Roland, man. That was a hell of a breakdown, and everything that he said, like, it happened in the game, bro, like to a T. So shout out to Roland. Watch the video. It is on our Facebook page. You'll see his face on there, the bets and the video and everything. So Roland, you killed it on the bet. I'm sorry that I couldn't get it up before, but it is available to watch, guys. So shout out to Roland.
I'm sure you'll have another teaser for us for this coming weekend of playoffs anyway. But yeah, so let's get to the results. The crazy, pretty much chalk, and the best quarterback to me, it seems like, won throughout the playoffs. We had yesterday, starting it off, we had the Bucs and Tom Brady jump out 17-0 going into halftime. Jalen Hurts with a horrible interception right before the half where they could have gotten some sort of points, gotten maybe 3. Just get on the board and you get the ball at halftime.
He didn't play well at all, man.
At all. And then they start the second half, having to punt. Bucs score real quick. Then they get the Bucs to punt. And Jalen Reagor, man, I tweeted that Jalen Reagor.
Trash.
Oh, man, he's trash.
Terrible.
I tweeted, I was like, Jalen Reagor never fails to remind the Eagles and the Philadelphia fans that he was the worst pick in their franchise history, bro.
Wow.
We're talking about a guy who got picked in the first round out of TCU. Everybody knows that 2 picks ahead of Justin Jefferson. The Vikings were laughing. Christmas came on
whenever the draft is.
Yeah, I forget the month. But Jalen Reagor muffs the punt. He catches it at the 50, muffs it. So they were going to have excellent field position. Muffs it. Bucs get it. Go down, throw a touchdown to Gronk. That game was over at halftime, and then it was way over in the third quarter. Yeah. But yeah, man, the Eagles, a very poor showing. I think games like that are going to be what pushes the Eagles to going away from Jalen Hurts. Like when you're in the playoffs and you're up against those upper echelon QBs like Tom Brady, that game, it was over within like 5 minutes of it starting, dog.
Easy.
It was bad.
You're up.
It was
You're
bad.
up 31-0 going into the fourth. When to me, it all started with Jalen Hurts when Tua took his job and he had to transfer. I mean, if you can't be the best starting quarterback
back
on
at
your
Alabama,
squad, back at Alabama, you know, and you took them to a national championship the year before, and then this little kid from, you know, there's a Hawaiian kid comes in who's, you know, smaller than you and takes your job. I mean, bro, that's where it all started.
A freshman.
Yeah. But yeah, and then going, you know, just continuing with the Sunday games. We know what happened with the Cowboys. We knew what was going to happen, you know, with the Chiefs. Obviously, they covered that that -13 spread. They doubled up the Steelers 42-21. Saturday, the first game, Raiders and Bengals. It's Bengals won, but the Raiders showed fight. I thought it was pretty clear that the Bengals were a little bit better of a team, and that all that, you know, the flames just kind of ran out for the Raiders. You know, that game going into OT the week before, I think, kind of took a big impact on them, very long, and then you have to get ready for the Bengals. You go to Cincinnati, so I think they just kind of ran out of fumes, but they only lost by 7, and they still, you know, put up a good fight. The Patriots and Bills, I mean, what else? 47-17.
We had a good time Saturday night. I mean, you're talking about the Bills didn't have to punt one time. They didn't have to kick one field goal. They scored a touchdown on all 7 of their drives that they had before taking knees on the 8th drive of the game, late in the 4th quarter. So that's actually the second time that they've done that against the Patriots. When they played them in week 16, they did the same, or week 16 or 15, when they routed them in New England. Same thing. I mean, the Patriots just don't have the horses. Skill position wise, if they're not able to run the ball down your throat, you know, they need that run because they need to get the play action to Mac Jones and make throws just easier for him. So that was a very easy game. And with that weather, I mean, we're single-digit weather. Everybody was making a big deal.
Ridiculous, bro.
It was so cold, but I mean, the guy threw for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns.
That's insane. I saw this tweet. I think it was that you shared earlier. Shout out to the We Talking About Sports Twitter page. You know, go follow us there, drop some comments. But you said there's a tweet that says the Buffalo Bills just had the NFL's first ever perfect offensive game. No punts, no picks, no fumbles lost, no field goals. All touchdowns on every single drive until the kneel downs, and they did it against a top 5 defense.
Yeah, it was domination, bro, against Bill Belichick. I mean, even at the end in the 4th quarter, they were rubbing it in with the play action, and then he throws that 5th touchdown to the left tackle, who's sitting wide open in the end zone. So it was a beatdown. Shout out Joe T. Also,
yeah, man, we got the boys here with us, man. Shout out to the boys in the chat. Eddie, shout out to Eddie real quick. Shout out to the dogs. Yeah, the dogs.
Yeah, Georgia, baby.
Yeah, Diego said we always have that 7-0 lead. His Diego probably almost, you know, went in his pants when Watt scored that defensive.
TJ Watt scoop and score.
Scoop and score with the slide. Josh saying, does Tua get a playoff win before Jalen Allen coming in here? Bengals with the ghost whistle touchdown. That was kind of crazy right there too. And Joe Burrow was that dude, man.
For sure. And I don't know about that. We were talking about that also, Alan, that ghost whistle. I mean, yes, the whistle did blow, but it blew like the ball was already in the air. And I just don't think that whistle wasn't going to change anything in that play. Like, dude was open in the back of the end zone. They just thought Joe Burrow was going to step out of bounds before he threw the ball. I think and obviously the inadvertent whistle was because the referee protecting the quarterback
that's what I thought.
Was anticipating him, you know, already going out. But Joe Burrow, being the baller, the playmaker that he is, we should just say in the pocket like Burrow. He was outside of the pocket.
Scrambling like Burrow.
Yeah, scrambling like Burrow. And he threw it up to the back of the end zone. Dude was wide open. The whistle blew maybe like a second before him catching it, but it didn't change the play. Now, going to the rule book, yes, it was a big deal because that down should have been replayed. But as far as affecting the outcome of the game, I think that the right team won. I didn't think they got cheated. I think that the horseshoe finally, they finally took that horseshoe out of their ass, bro. The Raiders have been getting lucky all season long, bro. They had won the most one-possession games this season. I mean, shout out to them for making the playoffs after all that adversity. But
Roland had a stat. It says they were 7-2 in games decided by less than 8 points. And after losing their coach and after losing their receiver in that horrible, crazy Vegas car crash incident, you would have thought that they would have put their tail between their legs and called it a season. But shout out to the Raiders for still, fighting strong and, not taking the Bengals to the edge, but still putting up a little bit of a fight. Jamar Chase continues to ball. He rookie of the year candidate, definitely 9 catches for 116 yards. I like Josh's question going back to what we're talking about Hurts right here. Does Tua, and Ben, I'm going to ask you this because this is a hell of a question, Josh. Does Tua get a playoff win before Jalen? Now, just some history here. They did win. The Dolphins won 8 of their last 9 games. They were riding high, but then they fired their coach. So we don't know if Tua is going to stay there. We don't know if he's going to get traded. But to answer his question, does Tua get a playoff win before Jalen, Ben?
The Dolphins have said that Tua is going to be their guy going forward with whatever new coach comes in. So I guess the Deshaun Watson stuff, they're putting that, on the back burner and going away from that. It seems like they were kind of happy with the Tua and Waddle connection. Obviously, they're really good friends. They're seeing Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase do the same thing. Obviously, Tua he's a different quarterback. He's a game manager, but I do think that Tua can be a really good game manager because he's a smart guy. We've seen game managers do well, win playoff games, and even win a couple of Super Bowls. There's been several game managers. Yeah, Russell Wilson.
Small guy.
There's been guys. But I got to say Tua because I don't think that Jalen Hurts is going to have the lengthy career like Tua will have in the NFL, bro. I'm telling you, dog, Jalen Hurts, this was bad, bro.
It was bad.
I've been saying that they'd be better off with Minshew the whole season. I've been getting a lot of shit.
Mania.
No, but at least, you need a guy who can sling it and make the throws. Like, Jalen Hurts is bad, bro.
He doesn't look confident to me when he's out there, man. And it doesn't help that he has guys like Rieger trying to catch the ball from him, and then they trade away Ertz. But regardless of it, he just doesn't look confident, and he didn't look that way in college either, man. And he's just Eagles did show out. 9-6 record to get into the wild card. Do they have more opportunities in the NFC East to get to the playoffs because of how bad that division is, minus the Cowboys?
Yeah.
So
they didn't have any crazy wins. What good quarterbacks did Jalen Hurts beat this year?
That's a deep dive for a Roland right there.
He did it. He's a running quarterback. I think that they fixed that system. We talked about it, that Eagle system, to benefit him, college style. We saw the designed runs for him against the Bucks. But, bro, when he has to make those throws, and in the playoffs, you're going to have to make 3 to 5 big throws a game. Mm-hmm. And he can't make 2 of them. So forget the 3 to 5. I don't think that Hurts is going to be starting in the NFL for long. That's my take on that.
All right. I like that. Now, we're getting closer to the end of the show here. We can't, end the playoffs without talking about the topic that everybody was talking about. Stephen A. Smith on First Take, Shannon Sharp, everybody in the world was talking about, who else but the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, hold on, Ron, just real quick, because Alan put up a pretty good comment right here. He thinks Jalen Hurts, he says, Jalen Hurts getting another year as a starter since the current QB draft class is not strong. A strong one in the Eagles with several.
Oh, yeah, they have 3 first-round picks.
I know. So that's why I'm going to play devil's advocate to Ron here, and I'm going to say this is a summer where there's a lot of big-name quarterbacks that we've heard that are going to be switching teams. We know that Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be his last year with the Packers. We know Carr is a free agent, and he says that depending on who they bring in at coach, it will depend on whether he stays or goes. Russell Wilson, we know, has been looking for a change of scenery. Deshaun Watson is looking for a change of scenery. You have 3 first-round picks. We were talking about the Giants trading their 2 top 10 picks to Houston, calling up Houston saying, hey, we got pick number 5 and pick number 7. Send us Deshaun Watson. Then the Texans would have 3 picks in the top 10. The Eagles should send all 3 of their first-rounders and try and land a guy like Rodgers, try and land a guy like Watson, or even Russell Wilson, somebody wanting a change of scenery. I agree about the draft class. You're not going to do it with any of these rookies, and I don't even think that he needs like QB competition there to make him better. No, Hurts is just not the guy. You don't need a competition there. Does Tua need a competition? Yeah, maybe the Dolphins go and draft the younger QB because Tua has seemed brittle and he does miss time. But for the Eagles, with those three picks, you go and get a guy, man. You go and get a guy. Yeah, the Broncos are going to be trying to do the same, Eddie, but the Broncos don't have 3 first-round picks. And Aaron Rodgers is about to win MVP back-to-back years, so the asking price is going to have to be an arm and a leg. I don't know what the Broncos have to give up.
I totally get your point, but if you are one of those big-name quarterbacks, do you want to go to Philly and play there? Do
you want to play in that? I mean, you're the best QB in that division as soon as you get there.
Hey, pause.
No, we're not pausing. We watched the game yesterday. I mean, if they're going to get to beat the shit out of the NFC East all year, bro, and get an automatic playoff spot, why wouldn't they go there?
I honestly think that Rodgers stays with Green Bay, man, and Adam stays with Green Bay, and he just rides it out into the sunset there. As far as Deshaun Watson, that's a big step up from Hurts. So I could see that happening if the Eagles are fine with all the questions from the media as far as, his off-field stuff. But regardless of it, I don't think Jalen Hurts is the guy. I completely agree with you. I don't know about giving up all your 3 first-round picks, but if you can get away with giving away 2, maybe 2 of the higher ones and still keeping at least 1, first-round pick, maybe that's something that would be cool. But regardless of it, on the Jalen Hurts situation, he's not the guy, man. Not the guy.
Watch out.
Speaking the truth.
Watch out. Look who
showed up. A la mother. Mr. Rams himself. Go Rams, go.
What up, Mark?
What up, Mark?
We're about to get into the Cowboys, Mark. So let us know how you feel in the comment section.
Yeah.
This should be fun.
I'll lead this off. We're not gonna stay on this topic too long, but
we are gonna stay on this topic for a while.
Okay, the definition of stupid, right? I'll read it to you guys. All right, having or showing a great lack of intelligence or common sense. Now, Ben, if you do not think that there's a better word for Mike McCarthy's performance yesterday and Kellen Moore's performance, you let me know, because I think this word fits it perfectly.
I think this is it's disrespectful enough. We don't got to get too rated R on these guys. They obviously could get called. He could get called every name in the book. But stupid works, Ron. I do also like the way you got Kellen Moore in there also, because I think that he's been sliding a little bit just with how bad. Obviously, the head coach is always going to be the guy that you go at. But Kellen Moore CeeDee Lamb had 1 catch yesterday. As the offensive coordinator, we know who calls the plays. For the offense, yes, I think Dak played horribly. Dak, he played horrible, bro. He had a terrible game.
Yeah, he threw a pick on their own side of the field, which was trash.
But none of their big time players showed up, man. Zeke had 20 yards. Like I said, CeeDee Lamb had 1 catch for 22 yards and a couple stupid penalties. Dak with the pick and some terrible decision making at times. And Amari Cooper, I don't think he even had 50 yards receiving either. Overall, it was just a horrible showing by the offense. And Kellen Moore needs to get some blame, because the Cowboys offense, the last maybe 6-7 weeks, second half of the season, the Cowboys offense was very, very iffy.
This is what happened this year, man. The Cowboys started off great. They were perfectly balanced, running the ball, throwing the ball, and then it just started getting a little pass heavy, and that's where Dak started to have not as good performances, because they were passing the ball more, and he kind of showed that he can be a good quarterback when the running game is good. But when he has 48, 49, 37, 42 attempts, that's when they have trouble. And that's where you blame Kellen Moore, because it became a one-dimensional offense, man. And everybody that they were playing knew that. The Cowboys have they said it, highest paid quarterback, highest paid running back. Cooper got paid too, but the Cowboys are a mentally weak team. Guys like Rodgers, guys like Brady, guys like Manning, coaches like Belichick. Yes, they're winners, but what can you say about all those guys? Mentally, dude, they're geniuses on the field. And they could that's why with less talent, they win. And the Cowboys are not mentally strong, man. And it shows. Rodgers didn't want McCarthy in Green Bay. Right?
That should have put up a red flag already.
And what happened when McCarthy leaves Green Bay? Dude, they've been in the NFC Championship ever since, balling out. Dallas, all the hype, man, is on the field. All right. They have all these players and this and that. We haven't had this much hype since we had Romo and Dez, that we went to that game where it was like Dez caught it. No, he didn't. But that team, I think, had more will. They wanted to win. I don't know. This team is just talented, but there are a lot of individual guys, man. The defense played great, but again, mentally weak with all the penalties, offsides, trying to guess the snap count, Gregory tackling the offensive lineman. You can have all the talent in the world, bro, but if you don't have talent up here, you're not gonna be a winner. And that's exactly what the Cowboys season was. Look at this tweet up here, bro. In the last 25 seasons, Jake Delhomme, Trent Dilfer, Mark Butt-Fumble Sanchez, Brad Johnson, Colin Kaepernick, Mr. Take a Knee himself, have all had more wins in the damn freaking Dallas Cowboy team organization. Come on, bro.
That's
because
crazy.
they're mentally weak. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not smart up here, you ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna win in the playoffs, and you definitely ain't winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Ron, something that I was saying that I was comparing him to, I'm obviously a big Longhorns fan, Texas Longhorns football, and we've seen what they've been doing. It's carousel of coaches, and I said the Cowboys are the Texas Longhorns of the NFL, bro. It's a country club mentality of like entitlement just because they wear the star and they have all the hype. They play in Jerry's world. I mean, it's kind of like LA of football, bro. Like it's Hollywood. It's big time. It's the Cowboys. I mean, we talk about it. We've heard how they're the richest franchise, the biggest franchise ever.
$1 billion this, $1 billion that.
And you can get lazy and all that because the people are going to show up no matter what. Yes, obviously they want to win, but back to you about the mentality. Romo was just, I think, not only smarter, but he was just more of a leader than Dak is, bro.
Yeah.
That's why that team was a little bit different. And then you had guys like T.O. Like, shit, T.O., I mean, we saw what he did to come back from injury and play with the Eagles in the Super Bowl that year from a broken ankle. He came back and he was the best player for the Eagles. They had guys who you didn't question whether they were going to, whether they wanted it or not. On this team, honestly, I think just Micah Parsons. That's the only guy who I'll say.
And he's a rookie.
And he's a rookie. But I'll say, and maybe that's why he's playing that hard. Maybe it hasn't hit him yet. He hasn't gotten comfortable there with the Cowboys. He's got something to prove. But, I mean, you got two guys that were Defensive Player of the Year candidates on defense in Diggs and Parsons. You got Dak, you got Zeke, you got Lamb, who you drafted in the first round. You have Cooper, you have Pollard. There's no excuse, bro. And for them to be the most penalized team the last 2 seasons since McCarthy got there, they've been the most penalized team in the NFL both years. They set a record last year, and that's just a reflection of your coach. It's a reflection of discipline. It's a reflection of doing whatever the fuck you want at practice, dog. It's like
when they did the Hard Knocks this year, like McCarthy would go in there and it was like he'd go into the room where they had the big conference rooms and stuff. Like he didn't command the room. People didn't. The players looked like they didn't want to hear what he had to say. It was like chingao, I've been a coach. To where if it's a coach like Belichick or somebody that walks in, everybody shut the fuck up and listen.
We've seen it. We've seen Hard Knocks where guys are like scared of the coach, or they're scared like they're not looking, or they're not trying to clown him or whatever. But like you said, with McCarthy, guys just really haven't been able to take him serious.
I think maybe this whole Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn getting head coaching opportunities maybe was already in their head too. Like, fuck it. Like, if we win, we win. If not, I got to go get ready for my head coaching interview. And then this goes back to the whole Jerry Jones thing, not wanting somebody like Jimmy Johnson in control of the team. And when he finally realizes it, maybe something can start happening. But these guys, he had freaking Mr. clapping his hands
for a decade.
For a decade there. Guys like Bill Parcells came in and they weren't there for very long because Jerry didn't like them. I mean, they didn't have a very good team those years either. But this coaching staff, bro. I mean, they're young guys. I'm just done, man.
It's Jason Garrett with 200 extra pounds on him, cuz that's what McCarthy is. I'm big, so it's just big man talking about big man, but
he don't call the offense. He don't call the defense. Coach. What the hell is he doing?
He sucks at managing the clock.
Yeah, terrible. Oh, you know what thing pissed me off?
He doesn't motivate them.
When they did the fake punt, and then they keep the punting unit out there on the field.
For what?
And then they substitute the offense late to try to get the Niners to call a timeout on their substitutions. Like what? Like you just had a badass fake punt that got you the first down. Dude, keep the offense on there and keep rolling.
And you got the fake punt, so you get the fake punt. Now put the offense on the field and let's go. Why do you leave the punt team there in some stupid formation and try to get them to call a timeout? And then after that, you run your offense out there with 14 seconds on the play clock and get a delay of game right after a momentum-changing fake punt that they executed beautifully, honestly.
Stupid, bro.
But they know how to fuck things up, bro.
That's all they know how to do.
It was bad. I'm honestly very surprised that he still has a job this morning, bro. I thought that it was one of the more embarrassing playoff performances of like the last 5 years, dog. It was bad. From the beginning, people were saying, damn, the 49ers came out looking hype. Jimmy Garoppolo came out looking like he was on one, just on the sideline.
Rapping to the songs on the side.
This guy can't even get the players up for pregame, bro. I don't know what the point of him being there is. And then Kellen Moore, I don't know whose idea it was or whose call it was to call a QB draw to get those yards.
Oh, damn.
You went 40 yards in 3 plays doing hook and ladders and just throwing at the sidelines. And now you're going to run a draw with the QB, 14 seconds, no timeouts. So the only way you can stop the clock is spiking it. And you know that in those situations, guys tend to stay on top of players for a second or two longer. Mm-hmm. That didn't even happen here, but these idiots don't hand the ball to the ref. Go and try and, hey, no, don't worry, we got a line of scrimmage. Get the fuck, they were showing videos today all day about Larry Fitzgerald from the Arizona Cardinals. Anytime anybody would get tackled and they were in that 2-minute drill, he would sprint to the guy, get the ball, go give it to the umpire. And there you go. And it looked like they don't practice that. They didn't know the situation.
They were not prepared. Situational football, they weren't prepared. They weren't prepared to come out of the game. Dude, if they have a decent first half, they're either in the lead or tied going into the game. But they played like shit the first half. They came out. Every team this year, going back to the Bucks, all the home teams in the playoffs, they all came out hot. Everybody came out hot, bro. Except for the Cowboys. Everybody had leads going into the half, except for the Cowboys.
And like you talked about trying to time the snap, I'll win 1 or 2 times, but when it happens 4 or 5 times, how is it the coach telling them, hey, look at the ball, let's just go off of the ball like it's always been? You know what I mean? To have 14 penalties in a home game and then pre-snap, like where your fans that loud that you're going off sides and shit, it was bad.
We finally get the pick. Jimmy G's finally Jimmy G. We're down 13. We throw the pick, and then we score the TD. And it's like, here we go. And let's just, 2 consecutive third downs in a row. We were supposed to get off the field, and we didn't because of penalties. Yeah, 8 penalties
that either took away a first down or gave the 49ers a first down. 8 of the 14 penalties either took away a first down for the Cowboys or gave the Niners a first down.
Yeah.
Bad. Like I said, that's all I got on this, bro. I'm really surprised that McCarthy is still the coach, especially because they have guys like Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn who are getting jobs. Just get rid of McCarthy and put one of those guys there. Listen, Dan Quinn did fuck up that Super Bowl, but we didn't expect anything from the Cowboys defense this year. And where they are is because of Dan Quinn. It's not because of Mike McCarthy or anybody else. Kellen Moore, yes, he's homegrown with the Cowboys. That's what they did with Garrett, but Kellen Moore ain't ready. Dan Quinn, I think, should be their head coach if they were smart.
Yeah, just go ahead and do it. Why are you going to lose both coordinators? At least give yourself an opportunity to keep one and keep the better one. I think you have enough talent offensively that you don't need the best offensive coordinator. You just need somebody who can balance out the run game and the pass game because you have weapons on both, on running and passing. So you don't need the best offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore got a little bit too smart for his own good sometimes. Keep Dan Quinn in there because he looks like the guy that's like a Mike Vrabel, maybe like the coach from the Lions, Campbell, who's like a gritty guy, doesn't take no bullshit. That's what Dallas needs, man. They don't need a young little chavalo like Kellen Moore running the team.
Defensive coaches, guys that are usually defensive coordinators and then get coaching jobs, like Dan Quinn, like McDermott for the Bills, like Vrabel. Yeah, they build a tough culture and teams play physical, bro. I do think that's what they need. I do think that they need Dan Quinn as their head coach.
Yeah.
But
that's enough of that. The Cowboys. Yeah, let's just run through this real quick, Ben.
Because the game just kicked off.
Yeah, the game just started. So Josh already has some picks up here. So Who do you got? Who do you got, real quick, man?
Yeah, my prediction is still intact so far from the preseason. I still got the Bills against the Packers in the Super Bowl, and I'm going to go with the Bills winning it all. I liked what I saw last week, the offense. I mean, Josh Allen, if he plays like this, and we know that he's capable of playing like this, running, passing, the guy's a baller. He just has to play like this. I do think that this game against the Chiefs on Sunday, bro, the total's 55, and I think we're going to see 60, 70 points. We're going to see a lot of points on Sunday. But yeah, give me the Bills against the Packers in the Super Bowl still, and I got the Bills winning it.
I'm gonna go. I'm sorry to break your heart. I agree with you on the NFC side. Rodgers is he's Aaron Rodgers. I think that whoever the Bucs play, the Bucs get through, whether it's the Cardinals or the Rams, just because we know what Brady does he could pick up the JV squad, and do well with them. Don't sleep on their don't sleep on their defense either. The Bucs still have a solid defense. And they have Brady, and they still got players. Mike Evans stepped the hell up, last week, and he was the Mike Evans that we were used to seeing. So
finally had 100 yards.
Finally had 100 yards, man. I think Green Bay gets through San Francisco. They're just too good. They're so put together, man, and they play as a team. Green Bay gets through Tampa Bay in the NFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl. I have the Chiefs taking care of the Bills, man, in a close game. But the fact that it's in KC, that's just the reason why that I'm picking them. And they played as well as the Bills played. The Chiefs played just as well. I know they played the Steelers, which isn't a great team, but the Chiefs played incredibly well. Mahomes was throwing dimes, and they looked like the old Chiefs. And he said, we just learned to be patient. They wanted to come out week 1, week 2 and score points right away. And then, they started taking some L's. They've learned to play better as the season has progressed. And then give me the Bengals over the Titans. There are 3 defensive starters out for the Bengals. They're going to go to Tennessee. Derrick Henry is supposed to be back. I just think there's too much of a layoff here for the Titans. They haven't played in a while, and the Bengals are just rolling right now, man. Jamar Chase is balling. We know Burrow's balling. I think it's another close game, but the Bills pull off the upset in Tennessee. They lose to KC in the AFC Championship, and Kansas City takes down the Packers to win the Super Bowl.
I'm not picking this so much with my brain, but I'm going with my heart here. And I got the Bengals beating the Titans also. They are underdogs, but
the Bengals beating the Titans?
Yeah, I got the Bengals beating the Titans. So I'm going to go with my heart. I'm not going to pick the number 1 seed in the chalk there, but in the playoffs, man, it's usually just the better QBs, and Ryan Tannehill and a hurt Derrick Henry. Like, yes, he's coming back, but it was a bad foot injury. He is a heavy running back. How many attempts do we expect Derrick Henry to get? I'd be very surprised if he comes back and we see 20-plus attempts like we usually see out of him. So I think that they'll mix him in there, but give me the Bengals and Joe Burrow slinging it.
Yeah, I'm going to pocket like Burrow. But it's good, to see some newer faces in here. Burrow.
Mark says he's got the Bengals against the Packers. Day versus the Packers. So a lot of love for the Bengals, man. I think Joe Burrow's a likable guy. Everybody likes to see an offense that slings it around, and him and Jamar Chase have been putting on a show the whole second half of the season.
Yeah, and going back to betting, I think that it's not a bad bet to take for the Bengals to.
You've been saying that.
Yeah,
you've been saying that they have a pretty good number.
Let's just get to the bets one more time. We'll run them down for you guys. The game, like Ben said, is already live. So here we go. Ben's plays Kupp anytime TD, Cardinals +3. Let's see if those hit. Rolling went with Connor anytime TD, more over 16.5 catches. I'm with Cooper Kupp also on the
yards, not catches.
I'm sorry,
17 catches would be caught on.
Damn it. Cooper Kupp over 7.5 catches, the first half tie. We also added AJ Green over 44.5, and Justin wants the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl in 2023. So thank you guys. Thank you to Josh. Anybody you want to shout out? Rick, Eddie, Marky, Alan, thanks, man. Joe T, who wasn't on the show, but he was here celebrating with us or hanging out with us on Saturday.
Yeah, he took a lot of shit from me on Saturday. Joe T.
Toph, man. Toph. Shout out to Toph. I never met Toph before. He's a cool guy. So Toph, what's up, bro? And Irv was in here too. Hey, Irv was here Saturday too. I forgot.
Yeah, Irv was there too, man. We got down Saturday night. We were shotgunning beers at 3 a.m. and shit. So yeah,
dude. If I wouldn't have seen Irv on the show right now, I would have totally forgot he was here Saturday. Swear to God. Swear to God.
That's because he was there pretty late.
He was there for a minute too, dog.
Yeah, bro. So shout out everybody, man. And we're gonna. I know Alan was in here, big Laker fan though. We're gonna be doing a little NBA show on Thursday. Alan, your Lakers, they don't look good because LeBron's tweeting, talking about we're gonna do better. Don't worry, I got you all. I don't see it getting better, maybe until AD gets back. So hit us up. Let us know what y'all think about your Lakers. Irv showed up with his little Laker pullover also to the barbecue, and they got smacked by 39 points to the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, man. And we got an MMA Tap Hour that we're going to be recording tomorrow also. Big pay-per-view this weekend, Francis Ngannou against Cyril Gane. So Justin and I will be on that tomorrow for sure. We'll see if Ron or Roland join us. Man, that's all I got.
Yep. And then just be on the lookout, guys. As we do these live shows, they run 45 minutes, maybe an hour, but we are doing smaller segments as well. So if you see them on our Facebook pages, share those. They're only like 2 minute, 1 minute, 4 minute videos. So if you want to throw the likes and share, we'd appreciate the love. Let's get into some NBA talk now that the NFL is wrapping up. And we're just going to bring you guys content, man. And any questions you guys have, hit us up in the DMs.
All right, boys. Peace.
That's it. Good show.